Welcome to The Link. I'm Brandon Johnson, and today I'm joined again by Kayla Strand of the Indy Foundation. Welcome. Thanks for coming back.
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks for having us. It's exciting to be back again.
Yeah, it's fun. We're just discussing, you were the first time we thought we had this crazy idea of doing a podcast, and you were our first guest a little over a year ago, right?
Yes, yeah. Time flies when you're having fun, I guess.
It does. Who would have thought, it's a completely different world when we last chatted, right?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, last fall, I should have watched what we talked about, but, we probably talked about our upcoming fundraiser, things that we were doing, and a lot has changed, not just for the nonprofit world. I mean, we've all had to change and adapt, but for Indy, we were planning our largest fundraiser.
Yep. Maybe back up, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just tell us a little bit, for those maybe haven't heard of what is the Indy Foundation, a little bit about you and the cause.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am the founder of the Indy Foundation. We were founded in 2017 after my late husband Kyle died of colon cancer. Part of his wish was to be able to give back some of which was given to us. And one of his biggest things was that, while people are battling, a lot of times they may lose their job, they can't work, life happens, but the bills still come and you have to make the most of it. So our main mission is to help people in the midst of their cancer battle. And what we focus on is you have to live in Minnesota, you have to currently be battling cancer, and then really the mission is just to help those in the midst of their battle. So we pick two people, one over 18 and one under 18, as long as we have the nominations, of course, and we present them with a check. And then before COVID, we were actually doing videos. So part of our mission was, people need to be able to share their stories, and they want to share their stories. And if you've never battled cancer, or maybe you've never had anybody go through it, which is awesome if you haven't.
Sure.
But then you can kind of see the behind the scenes and know what people actually go through. So pre-COVID, we recorded everybody, and post-COVID, it changed the way we do things.
So you were getting ready for your...
So when we talked last, we were getting ready for our Bow Ties and Arrows Gala in March. March 20-something it was. And
when did the shelter-in-place orders? Like the second week of March, correct?
It was like a few days before,
Did you kind of plan, or did you anticipate, or you kind of had to get a sense, or did you wait till that was...
We kind of waited. I mean, nobody really knew what it looked like or what it was or what it meant. So we really waited until it was probably the week before. And we said, you know what? Obviously, we can't have the event. Respectfully so. I mean, we have to be mindful. We have people who are battling cancer. We invite and encourage our warriors and their families.
Because they're the most vulnerable.
Exactly. So it made sense. But all of a sudden it was like, okay, so now what does this mean? What does it look like for Indy? Are we going to be okay for 2020? And it really we had to get creative, adapt, and just make the most of it. And so we decided to just do a postponement. We said, okay, let's look at fall of 2020, because in the beginning we were all told, a couple of weeks and this will all be over and life will be good. So throughout the summer, we kind of just really didn't do a lot with it because we didn't know exactly.
Were you still getting nominations at that time, or?
Yeah, 100%. I like the saying that cancer doesn't stop during COVID. And I feel like, media and a lot of things kind of shifted focus. And I mean, even still today, you turn on the news and that's all you hear about is COVID, which, yes, that's what's going on in our world. But unfortunately, people are battling other diseases, including cancer, every single day. So for me, it was like COVID has added stress to these people who are already battling. Then on top of it, a lot that...
not to mention just the world in general... family-wise is turned upside down, so there's more stress,
It's turned upside down, and then add the fact that you are now have to go to your appointments by yourself. And that really hit home for me because... the
support system that could be traditionally in place.
It just wasn't there. I went to all of Kyle's appointments, and when you're battling or when you're really sick, you're not actually listening to what they're telling you because you got other things going on in your mind. So a lot of times I was the messenger that had to be like, no, the doctor told you this.
Sure.
So now picture yourself battling cancer, maybe getting that diagnosis by yourself. Like, it's just heartbreaking to think about.
See, you don't even think about that context until you lay it out there like that. That you're more, lack of a better phrase, you're alone.
You're alone. And then let's say you end up in the hospital. Now you're laying in a hospital bed by yourself. And I know for Kyle, a lot of times what got him through his days was just people coming to visit him, you know, like getting his spirits up. And so I thought of that a lot with COVID, like just the people that were just felt that much more alone. And one thing that we really did this year is we do warrior backpacks.
Okay.
Where we get a grant from the Randy Shaver Foundation. Mm-hmm. And our first year doing it, we gave 300 backpacks to Coburn's Cancer Center.
Sure.
This last year, we had 700 backpacks to give away, and we spread it out. So we did 50 to Sanford Hospital in Bemidji. We did 300 to Coburn's Cancer Center. We have another 300 going to the U of M Fairview. And then we gave 75 to the Children's Hospital.
Very cool.
And one cool thing and piece that I didn't really think of is, again, with them staying by themselves, even, for instance, at the Children's Hospital, they used to have these huge wings where they could go out and play.
Sure.
And, you know, the football stars would come in and all this cool stuff, and they didn't have that this year. So this, what I call a piddly little backpack full of
just
you know,
the idea that someone's thinking
do.
of, they're still in someone's thoughts and prayers, right?
Yeah, and they had activities to do even if they're just sitting in a hospital bed.
Yep.
So we got a lot of feedback that, you know, people were just super appreciative, and sometimes we get messages directly to us that is like, thank you, I needed that message today, or I needed to know that someone was thinking of me. So our backpack program is it was something, again, it started because every treatment, Kyle would bring his little drawstring Under Armour bag. And when we started at Coburn's Cancer Center, they really don't, it's very overwhelming. They don't really give you anything other than a ton of information that's like super scary. I'll just put it in that perspective.
Sure.
And so it made sense to, let's try and do something to lift their spirits a little bit and let them know that there's other people that have been through it and that they can do it and they're not done yet. So my goal is to make the backpack program, you know, across the state, and everybody's getting one when they're diagnosed. No, that's a big goal, but it's something that I think we can eventually get to. So.
Well, that's neat to hear that you're still finding ways to reach them.
Yes.
You know, in a little bit of a different capacity, different need, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of sidetracked there, but the backpack program was one of our, I will say, creative, inventive things this year. On top of it, we postponed our gala to November, and then we decided, let's use the internet and let's use social media and let's do some online fundraisers.
Sure.
So in September, we did 100 miles, walk 100 miles for kids.
Okay.
And so you could basically just sign
Here
up.
in St. Cloud, or where was that at?
So it was all virtual.
Gotcha.
Because we're living in the virtual world.
Gotcha.
So basically you just signed up. And we had, you know, day in September, there's 30 days. So each day it had how many miles you should walk. So wherever you lived, you could participate. And we asked for a donation, whether you want to do $1 per mile or whatever you could do. Yep. And we had about 50 participants that signed up. You know, there's people that probably did it and we didn't know. And we ended up raising about $3,500. Cool. So that was pretty cool because that is going to go to our kids' backpack program. So we can do more backpacks at the Children's Hospital, and then also to our little warriors that we have throughout the year.
Yep.
So
what, so now you mentioned this spring, the plan is to go virtual. Are you just going to expand upon that? Or what do you have in store for this spring, not knowing what the world's going to be like?
Right. So we had rescheduled the gala for in-person in November. Obviously, stuff is shut down again. So we're going back to our original date of March, and we're going virtual. I'm not going to spoil everything, and I don't know what it all looks like yet, but basically we are going to have on the gala day, we'll have a video. We'll go live. Typically, Leighton Broadcasting is our partner.
Yep.
We'll do some stuff with Layton. We'll have some stories from cancer warriors within the last year, a nurse who works in the cancer center. Because I think, like we're talking about, it's always good to get perspective from the people who are a frontline worker, working with the cancer patients. What did it look like this year? 2020 for all of us was very different, but for the nurses, I think they had to carry a lot more weight than we even know. In a lot of different aspects.
Everyone in healthcare, I mean, I can't imagine to your point with COVID, all of the other illnesses don't stop, right? And just the being alone in the hospital would be, it's something would be difficult, right?
Right, yeah. So we had people nominated throughout the year. We still maintained our
Of all ages, right?
Of all ages, yep. We still maintained our 2 nominations each month. The 2 warriors per month that we gave money to. One thing that changes videos. So we kind of leave it up to the comfort of the recipient now. Whether, I get it, if you don't want people in your home, we kind of adjust to what they would like. So we don't necessarily have the videos and the stories, but we still have the stories. We just don't have the video. We might have pictures and whatever they give to us.
Are some people still choosing to do the video, or?
Yeah, we've had a few that still really want to do it. And something, a piece that a lot of people don't think about with the video is sometimes the cancer diagnosis, people are at different stages, of course, whenever we visit them. It could be they were just diagnosed, they might be in the middle, or they know they don't have much time left. Regardless of where they are, that video more than once has become a memoir of that person for the family, which is pretty special. It's something that I really wish I had, because I still watch silly Snapchat videos just to hear Kyle's voice. So I really hope we can get back into being able to do videos again, because I do feel like that is a unique piece and a gift for that person and the family.
Yep, for sure. Tell me what, just from a little bit of the business perspective, being a nonprofit, you touched a little bit about on the fundraising, but how has just the business aspect of it been different, and how if you had to adapt?
Yeah, I mean, so yes, we're a nonprofit, but we're still a business. Our main survival and lifeline is through donations. We don't have necessary revenue coming in. Now, Indy's a little bit unique in we have an online store with clothing items, but that's not really our main revenue stream. Our main revenue stream is donations, sponsorships, just getting people involved in working with Indy and supporting our mission. So for us, we still, especially for our gala, we have still sought out sponsors, to be a part of it and to back the mission. And then I will say with 2020, I feel like in some aspects, people have been more giving, because they know like it is important to support nonprofits.
Well, you had the brand recognition too, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't thankfully, it wasn't like you were just launching and you were a new commodity. You had that name recognition to some point, which had to have helped, right?
We do to some extent. We are still new, very new. We're year 3, so it's like we had a lot of big plans, and maybe they've just kind of been stifled because, and I don't want to be selfish, because there's so many people out there that your plans have been changed and stifled this year. But yeah, it has affected us. Our gala, our first year, we raised $90,000. So not having that at all
is huge.
This year is a big impact on what we do. And it's important to us. I mean, I probably don't make note of this enough, but we don't pay anybody. I mean, it's 100% volunteer ran. I work full time. I don't get paid, but I love what I do, and I want to continue to see the mission grow and the nonprofit grow for years to come, because unfortunately we all know at least 5 people with cancer. So
I've seen a few, like, I was just brought to my attention, the Laysock Lions, the Christmas tree pick, just things like that that have picked up and been supportive, right? Yeah,
so some things this year, we've been very fortunate to have random things like that come across our desk. Shields, for instance, in St. Cloud, from what I was told, they kind of scaled back what they gave this year, but they more specifically did a fundraiser or I don't even know what you want to call it, where they were giving away $15,000 to nonprofits in the area, and it was all based on voting. So we just shared on our social media, and we were one of the 15 recipients to receive $1,000. So things like that where people still have made money. Companies still thrived in 2020. Yep. Some did way better than they've ever done. So there's still money to be had, but it was getting creative and finding those donors. And yes, something that I should bring up is the LaSalle Lions on January 7th. If you have a Christmas tree and you live in Sartell,
throw it in your yard.
Throw it in your yard and they'll pick it up, and all the proceeds go to Indy Foundation.
Yep.
So, yes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Just want to switch gears a little bit, and I know you're very passionate about Indy, but you're a new mom this year.
I am, yes.
Tell us what that's been like.
Raising a child during a pandemic. Maybe I should write a book on that.
There you go.
Well, I was very fortunate to have Kyla just a few weeks before the world completely shut down.
Yeah.
So,
and the name doesn't go unnoticed, right?
Right. So Kyla is extra special. So originally I had heard that name years ago, and when Kyle was still here, we talked about names, and we kind of joked because his name was Kyle, my name was Kayla. We're like, oh, if you combine the two, it's Kyla. And I was like, I actually love that name. But anyways, so Mitch, my fiance, I gave him a list of names, and I didn't tell him like anything. And he's like, I really like that. But he's extra special because he, even before we knew the gender, he said, well, if it's a boy, what if the middle name was Kyle? And it's just like, okay, that is just, you're not selfish at all. Like, that is amazing. So, anyways, enough about Mitch. Kyla was born in early March. Being a new mom is amazing. I mean, everyone told me it would be. I was kind of a selfish person, so my mom will tell you it changed me in a lot of ways that are good. I loved to travel. I loved my career. I was like being pregnant. I'm like, okay, how am I going to do all this? How's it going to work? And then COVID hit. Yeah. And in a lot of ways, I am really thankful for COVID because I think it taught me it's okay to slow down. It's okay to say no to things. Yep. And it's okay to just sit back and be grateful. And even though I miss travel a lot, and sitting in the same four walls 7 days a week sometimes drives me crazy. Yeah. I got to spend she's almost 10 months really with my daughter, not having to leave her, where before after 3 months of maternity leave, I was going to be leaving her within a week.
So you got to appreciate some more time. And
100%.
What was Christmas like? 10 months, she's probably old enough where she can still she can grasp some things, right?
Yeah. She wasn't really into
just the paper and all that.
Yeah, it's like, why do we even spend our time getting all these presents? Give them a box and wrapping paper, and they love it. Yeah. So, no,
that'll change.
Right? Change. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some years like really.
There'll be Air Force Ones and neon lights in the room or LED lights.
Oh man, that's awesome. And no, if Christmas was great, even though things looked a lot different this year, it's like just to see the appreciation on. She doesn't know that the world is different. Right. She's brand new to the world, and just the happiest baby. Literally, like, wakes up in the morning, you go get her out of her crib, and she just has a big smile on her face. And that is not for me, because I do not like to be talked to for at least an hour from getting up. So she gets that from her father. But babies are great.
Yeah.
Even during a pandemic, it's like I had a couple friends who have had babies. I know about 6 babies being born in January. And it's just, even in a time of uncertainty, she literally brought so much joy to not only me, but to my family, and even people on Facebook. They're like, we love seeing your pictures. It just makes us smile. I
watch your your Snapchats a lot and your stories, and it's fun to see, anyone's, but your family growing. And watching your daughter, and I remember my oldest is 13 now, and she was, when she born, September. And so it would be similar when she was just starting to walk. It would snow like this, and we went to a vacation. And it just, the simple things of the first time she walked in grass, or the little things like that. And those are the things, value those now because life changes, right? And so it's fun, especially in COVID, when you are more appreciative in general. It's those little things like that. I just think to watching Emma just for the first time see grass, just little unbeknownst to anyone, things that mean the most sometimes.
Don't you feel like this year, even with as much just craziness, that a lot of people just learn to appreciate the small things?
Absolutely. We went to, getting off topic here, we took a family, we went to Brainerd and did that. They have that light festival in the Arboretum, which is amazing. And we went and did some shopping before in downtown Brainerd. And I remember going downtown, and normally, and if you know me and my family, if I go downtown shopping with my family and my girls and we're doing bath bombs and candles, I am antsy. I'm on my phone. I'm twitching to get out of there, right? I just found myself at peace and enjoying it. And I don't think outside of this pandemic that would be the case. So you're 100% right.
Yeah, I agree. We were fortunate enough to sneak off to Florida in December. And so Kyla seeing the beach for the first time, the ocean. I mean, all she wanted to do was eat the sand at the beach, but it's pretty cool. Or even just her first airplane ride. It's like, okay, I've done this 100 times. It's my job.
Right.
But it was really neat to experience and be able to do that with her as well.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Yeah.
So tell us, if people want to get involved for the gala or any other way, what's the best way to get in touch with you, reach you?
Yep. So you can, of course, find us on Facebook. You can message us, contact us through there. We have a contact spot on our website. You can contact me through there as well. But to get involved, I mean, really, we're going to be doing a silent auction, which will be all online. So it'll be live for a week. So any donations that you may have or know someone that has donations for that, if you want to be a sponsor, or maybe your company can be a sponsor, we have different sponsorship options, which you can email me and I can get you those as well. Or you can just attend and watch it so you know what Indy does, see what our mission is about, the people that we help. Again, that will be on March 20th, 21.
Which will be here sooner than later.
Yeah, it's coming quick. And then, of course, donations. We are a nonprofit. We survive on donations, and we rely on them to continue to be able to give to people that are in need of them. So,
well, cool. Yeah. Well, Kayla, thank you so much for coming again. It's always a joy to see you and chat and talk about the world. And I look forward to watching the gala here in March. All
right. Thank you. I appreciate being invited to this. It's always fun.
Absolutely. Thank you. Have a great New Year.
You too.
Bye.